So we want to continue where we left off last week. Last week we spoke about Yosef HaTzadik, and the brothers, the big unveiling. Yaakov Avinu comes down to Mitzrayim, and so on and so forth. We got into the story. How Yaakov Avinu decided that he wants to give a blessing to the sons. He calls Yosef and he tells him, make me a promise that you're not going to bury me over here, you're not going to keep me over here, you're going to make sure that you bury me with my Avraham and Yitzhak. So that way I'm not going to be, don't leave me over here, don't let them leave my body over here in Mitzrayim. So he calls Yosef. We spoke about in the past, why specifically Yosef? As Chazal teach, only Yosef had the power to make this promise come true. Yaakov Avinu passes away, and the Torah, Pasuk in the Torah, says that the Egyptians, for 70 days, they cried over the death of Yaakov. Rashi on the spot says, why did they cry over the death of Yaakov to the Egyptians? 70 days they cried. Because of the blessing that he brought to them. You know, how many years into the famine was it when Yaakov came down to Mitzrayim? 2 years into the famine. 2 years into the famine, when Yaakov came down, and as soon as he came down, the famine ended. The Nile came up to him, the Nile increased, the water came up, he blessed Paro, and everything ended. They see this person come to the town, who gives immense blessing to the city, who brings so much blessing, and then all of a sudden they lose him. And they felt the void of him, and they said, oh, what can we do without him? 70 days they cried over him. Before he dies, he blesses his sons, and he tells them, and he instructs them again a second time, make sure you take me to Mata Mechpala. Don't bury me over here. Make sure I go and I'm buried with my forefathers. Don't leave me over here. And of course they do that, they take him, they bury him. But if we look in the Torah, something interesting, the Gemara Masechet Ta'anit points out. It says, we never see the word mitah, death, when it comes to Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov Avinu didn't say he dies. It says he turns his feet into the bed, he expired, and he was gathered into his people. He didn't say he passed away. He didn't say he, God forbid, died. It says he turned his feet into his bed. It says in Ramah Masechet Ta'anit, Yaakov Avinu never passed away. What do you mean never passed away? He's alive until today? When's the last time you went in the street, you saw Yaakov Avinu walking around? Anyone? So what do you mean he didn't pass away? And Farshim explain, there's two types of deaths, passing over, that a person experiences in this world. There's one that's the physical self, that his physical self leaves the world. And it's the second is the influence that he leaves on the world. For some people it happens simultaneously. When they pass away, the influence also passes away with them. For others, who invested their time, their money, their resources in a smart way, their impact carries on. Yaakov Avinu spent so much of his life instilling the proper foundation to his children that Yaakov Avinu lives on through us. Every single person over here is who he is today because of Yaakov Avinu. And therefore we live on today, and Yaakov Avinu lives on today through us. And if a person was smart, I don't want to spend too long on this notion because we have a lot to cover. But if a person was smart, he would understand that you have that same opportunity in life. You're here for how many years? 120 years if we're lucky. And of those 120 years, how many of them are sane? And you have the opportunity to invest your time in a way where you can actually make a meaningful impact in the world. You want a good example of this? You go to a person now and you ask him, what's the purpose of the world? What's the purpose of creation? And many people will tell you, it's money. Many people think so, I can become successful, I can reach fame, stature, I can buy a building. You'd be surprised how many people will tell you that the whole reason they're over here in the world is to make a successful business, to buy a building in Manhattan, to make a lot of money, to accumulate as much wealth as they possibly can, and then that's it, it's HLE, I'm good. But money has, let's say right now a person accumulated X amount of money in the world. He became very wealthy, buildings, this and that. And then he passed away. What impact did his money have? That he hoarded it, he kept it in his bank account, he left the world with $100,000 $100 million in the bank. What impact? What impact did he leave? What impact did he leave? He left it for his children, let's say, okay? So now his children have 100 million. But what did he do in his lifetime with his money? No, I wanted to keep it. I wanted to keep it in my bank account, so no one. He didn't use it wisely, he didn't invest it, he didn't go and put it into things that are going to live beyond him. He didn't go and put it into things. Go put it in a shul, go put it in a sefer, go put it in an organization. Guess what? People go back 50 years ago, 60 years ago. They went knocking on a person's door and they tell them, hey, I know you have a lot of money, we're looking to open up an organization. 40, 50 years ago, Avi Zamir Cohen, one of the biggest outreach organizations in Eretz Yisrael, Hidabut, many years ago, he was knocking on people's door asking them who wants to invest in Hidabut. And one person was smart enough to say, you know what, I put my money down. Another person down. Every single person who put their money down, could be they're not even alive today, but everything that happens from that organization today is in their merit. You buy a building, you put a brick in a building, it's a shiva, it's a kollel, it's a synagogue. Every good thing that comes out of that building is your merit now. Go take a sefer right now that was written 50 years ago. You'll see in the beginning all the names of people who put money into the book. They might not be alive today. They may not be alive anymore. But guess what? They live onto the sefer. They live onto that sefer. And so too is your time. You could be a smart person. If a person is not smart, he takes his money, he says, I'm not going to invest it in the right way. I'm not going to put it into the right things. I'm going to keep it for myself. I'm going to hoard it. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy another boat. And leave no impact in the world. And therefore, when he goes, everything goes with him. Or you can say, you know what, I'll be smart. And it's the same thing with your time. You have the ability to use your time to put an impact in the world. I say this to many of you, obviously, to the ones who are parents, it's very clear in your children. The ones who aren't parents yet, but the shame will be parents soon. But even when you're not parents yet, you should have the ability to instill in other people, to impact other people, to bring them closer to Hashem Yitbarach. Tell them, you know what, come to Shul Torah, come here, go there, invite them to Shabbat, whatever it is. You have the ability. You put that impact in the world that affects another person. And you never know how far one small action could go. But that impact will outlive you. There's a story, on this similar note, the Gemara brings down, Masechet Sanhedrin. There was one of the sages at the time, his name was Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda lived in the times of the Romans. The Romans decreed that you can no longer do smicha. You know what smicha is? Rabbinical ordinance. It means that I'm telling you, this rabbi over here, you can trust him. How do you know you can trust a rabbi? People say, who's a rabbi? You get a name rabbi? I woke up this morning and said, you know what, I'm a rabbi. That's it, it's over now. How do you become a rabbi? How do I know I can trust what you tell me? The rabbis who came before you stamped on you that they could trust on you. You know Chacham Ovadia, Zichronot Tzadik Levacha, could trace back his Torah all the way back to Moshe Rabbeinu? All the way back to Moshe Rabbeinu, his rabbi and his rabbi, his rabbi, all the way into Moshe Rabbeinu. And the Romaim, the Romans, they knew this. And they wanted to get rid of this because they wanted to get rid of Judaism. They didn't want to kill us physically. They wanted to get rid of us spiritually. So they said, no more. Rabbi Yehuda said it's not worth it, even though it was death penalty. If they found out that a person was doing such a thing, they'd put him to death. He says, it's not worth it for me to give up on it. So what did he do? He took 5 students secretly. He taught them, and he ordained them. As soon as they finished the ceremony, they heard the footsteps of the Roman coming to the door. They said, what are we going to do? The rabbi tells the students, run. They start running, they turn around and see the rabbi sitting there. They say, Rabbi, come on, let's go. He tells them, I'm an old man, there's no way I'm outrunning them. I'll stay here and I'll buy you guys some time. He said, but Rabbi, you're going to die. He tells them, yes, I may die physically, but I'll live on through you. You can live on through your actions. You can live on through people. You can live on. By passing down something to the next person, helping the next person, making an impact in the world that transcends beyond me. Take some of yourself, give from yourself, invest in other people, guess what? Then you'll never die. You'll never leave this world. Your impact will carry on for years. And Yaakov Avinu understood that. And that's why the Torah didn't say he passed away. And what's interesting, as we look further into the story, we see such a beautiful thing. Such a beautiful thing. Like this. After Yaakov Avinu passes away, the Jewish people, Chazal teach, they didn't intermingle with the Egyptians. They lived in a city called Goshen, in the outskirts of Ramses and Pitom. They didn't live in the main city. They weren't in Manhattan. They weren't in Williamsburg. They weren't in Lakewood. They weren't in Muncie. They were all the way out on the other. They didn't intermingle. Until when? Until all the tribes passed away. Once all the tribes passed away, says the Midrash, then the Jews says, Chalas now, we're stuck over here in this place. We want to go see what's going on over there in Manhattan. We want to go see the theaters. We want to go see the circuses. Burlington Brothers, what's the thing? What's the name of the circus? We want to go see the circuses. We want to go see the Broadway shows. And they started leaving Goshen and going into Egypt. At this point, up until this point, the Egyptians had no idea what was going on with the Jews. And then when they came down to Egypt to come and get involved with them, says the Midrash Shemot Rabbah, because they were fond of their ways. Even the idol worship. Many of the Jews were fond of the idol worship and started doing idol worship with them as well. The Chazal teach us, Rashi brings down the Midrash, that they were having 6 children at a time. And every single one of them was healthy. 6 children at a time. A woman would give birth, 6 children at a time. Imagine the first one. Whoa. There's no sonograms. Not like today, you know how many kids you're going to have. No sonograms or nothing. Imagine the first one. Here's one. Push. Everything. Another one. She's going crazy over there. What's going on over here? No sonograms. Every single woman, 6 children. 6 children. Now guess what? The Egyptians start to see that the Jews are growing rapidly. And they become terrified. They become very afraid. They say, what are we going to do now? If the Jews decide, the Baal HaTurim says that if they decide to go and partner up with Canaan, the king of Canaan, and come out to war against us, to go and try and collect the money that they had to pay us from the famine, they can outnumber us. They can take all of Egypt. We have to devise a plan. We have to come up with a plan to solve this issue. We have to come up with a plan. So they go to Paro, and I tell them, look, we have to come up with a plan. What are we going to do? How are we going to save ourselves from these things? How are we going to lower the amount of Jews there are? Listen to this. What a beautiful pirush. Says the Baal HaTurim, the Targum Onkelos, and the Mushav Zkenim. Tells us the story exactly what Paro did. He decided that he's going to send out proclamation, flyers. Your country needs you. Pitom, the main cities, Pitom and Ramses, they need to be redone, redeveloped, re-infrastructures. We need all the men and the women in all the cities of Egypt to come in, and we're going to be paying a very generous wage. Everyone should come and get involved. The Midrash relates that Paro came out the first day with a shovel. He cut the ribbon. He said, everybody, look, noble Egyptians came, and they started working. The Jews, they see from far away, Opa, look at the Egyptian guys, they're making good money. One of the Farshim explained, how much were they paying them? $1 a brick. Every brick you put down, $1. Oh, it's good money, huh? Obviously not $1. $1 didn't exist, but one of the currency there at the time. So the Jews here, with an opportunity, what do? What do? Right away, they go down to Goshen and start working, putting bricks. Huh? And over the span of 16 months, slowly, the Egyptians start to disappear. You know, the first day they came in, it's a mix of Egyptians and Jews. And then the next month later, a little bit less Egyptian, more Jews. So a few months, so on and so forth, until at the end of 16 months, only Jews. Only Jews. Right? Then Paro tells them, sorry, we no longer have any money. Can't pay you. I have nothing to pay you with anymore. It's over. Halas. Huh? Can't pay you with anything anymore. The Jews say, no money? No honey. No money. You're not paying. I'm not working. The policemen surround the Jews. They tell them, oh, you think you're going to go home? Oh, really? Let's see you try. Now they try, and they beat them up. And they force them into slavery. And this is how they became slaves. However, there was one Shevet, the Midrash relates, that didn't come down. The Rambam says, who were the Shevet? And why didn't they come down? Shevet Levi. The Levi. And why didn't they come down? Because Yaakov Avinu told them before he passed away, make sure that you don't ever walk away from the Torah. 210 years we were in Egypt. A majority of those years, every single Jew suffered immense torture under slavery, and the Levi'im didn't have to work a minute. Because they never came down to work, they were never enslaved. For the entire 210 years, they're sitting down on their hands, eating food. Why eating food? The Midrash relates when Yosef was still in kingship, he made a decree that priests, people who are in stature, they eat for free. The Levi'im ate for free for 210 years, didn't have to work a day, came and went whenever they wanted, whatever they wanted, they didn't come down. Why? Because when the opportunity came knocking to go out to Manhattan to go work, to go make a few dollars, they said, we're not going. And what's the worst part about it? Says the Sefer Yashar, the Midrash Sefer Yashar, that not only they beat them up and forced them into slavery, they took back all the money that they made. All of the money that they made over the last 16 months, took back every dollar from them. And worse than that, they took a quota. I give you $1 a brick, no? You're going to work hard to get extra brick, no? They took exactly the amount of bricks they made when they were making money. You made 100 bricks. Now you're not paying anymore. You want to make 10? Too bad. They'll beat you endlessly until you made 100. Beat you endlessly until you made 100 bricks. It was mamash something pele. How did they get here? How did the Jewish people get the situation where they were enslaved in Egypt? How did they get here? Because they compromised on their values. They compromised on their values. Yosef told them, the Shvatim told them, don't leave Goshen. Stay here. You'll be okay. The parnasah will come to you. The money will come to you. But he said, no, we have to go out. We have to go make the money. We have to go on our own way. We have to go do our own things. And because of that, they suffered. Because they said, I'm going to go running after the money. Because they said, I'm going to go run after the work. That's what they lost. How is this relevant to us? How is it relevant to us? The Torah says in Shemot, Dvar sheker tirchak. You know what that means? Run away from lies, from falsehoods. All day a person goes out to work in Manhattan, in these places, what does he see? They're going, they're lying to their teeth. They want to make a sale, they're lying to their teeth. I told the guy, why does a person lie when he wants to make a sale? What do we say out here? What do we say in the office? Desperate time calls for desperate measures. That's what they told me. Desperate time calls for desperate measures. I told him, why do you lie why does a person feel like he should lie whenever he has a deal on the table? There's a client coming in now, why should I lie to him? Why does he feel I should lie? What do you think he stands to gain? Oh, I increase my probability. I increase my probability of making money. If I'm going to lie, I have a better chance of closing the deal. I have a better chance. I have a better chance, no? I'll hack it up. Eh? I used to work in real estate many, many years ago. It's the most crooked industry. Don't tell them about this, lie about this, lie about this, no broker's fee, end this fee, this thing. They almost teach you to lie. And how do you get over here? Because you don't keep the foundation of what it is to be a Jew. The Gemara Masechet Shabbat says, Rava says that when a person leaves this world, the first day he goes to judgment, the first question they ask him is, Nasata v'natata be'emunah. Second question is, Kivita etim Torah. The first question they asked him is, were you honest in your business dealings? Then the second question is, did you set time to go learn Torah? Did you set time for Hashem? Second question. Why is the first question that were you honest in your business dealings? And listen to the words. Nasata v'natata be'emunah. Everything in the world will always boil down. How did the Jews get to Egypt? How did they get slaves? How did everything happen? It always boils down to emunah, to faith. If a person doesn't have the proper amount of faith in Hashem, he's going to lose. But you have to believe wholeheartedly. I'm going to give you guys so many proofs right now. You have to believe wholeheartedly that if Hashem wants to give you something, it's coming. It's yours. You don't have to go and kill yourself. You don't have to break your head. You don't have to lie. You don't have to cheat. If it's your deal, it's your deal. You don't have to go around the way. I'm going to give a shebach, I'm going to give a praise to one person. I'm not going to mention his name, because it could be that he's here. I'm not going to mention his name, I'm not going to say who it is. He called me a week ago, asking me a question. He said there was a 19-year-old kid who, he called him Jewish guy, who wanted to take some money from him. Cash advance deal. He asked me, is it allowed, not allowed? I answered the question to him al-Khati, and I gave him a little bit of musar, a little bit of motivation to do the right thing. I see the guy a few days later, he tells me, I ended up calling back this boy and telling him, what are you doing? Why are you taking all these deals? You don't need it. You have a good cash flow. You don't need to take all these deals. And the 19-year-old kid told him, because I keep on hearing from these people, I got to take another deal, another deal, another deal. That's why I'm going to get a better deal, another deal, another deal. He told me, are you even benefiting from these deals? I said, no. So why are you taking it? He tells him, if you ask me, you could have made a commission check right there, $6,000. He said, I'm not doing it. If you ask me, run away from all of these things, don't ever take another cash event in your life. You're losing yourself. If you need any help, call me. I sat down about it after the fact, and I started thinking to myself, every single person who this 19-year-old boy called, who knows, $200,000 cash flow, 19 years old, every single month, you ever something like that? Has to be maybe inherited something from his father, something like that. Who knows? It's possible. And here comes a kid to your table, 19 years old, who maybe is a little bit naive. You take advantage of him. Guess what? If chas v'shalom, God forbid, one person told him, take another deal, take another deal, take another deal, and he would have lost his pants, he would have lost his business. Kitab Shamayim, yesh din v'cheshbon. Guess who has to answer for that? You think, what did I do? I didn't do anything wrong. I sold him a deal, he came to my table. Guess what? You ruined his life, you're going to have to answer for that. You're going to have to answer for that. And this one person who said, hey, you know what, do the right thing. Guess what? You know what's waiting for him, Shamayim? Giving up on a commission check of a few $1,000s? I'm going to come and help you. How do you get to such a place? Well, you overlook yourself. You overlook your commission. You overlook all these other things to go help another person. Because you understand what's mine is mine. What's meant to come to me is going to come to me. If the money is supposed to come to my pocket, it's coming to my pocket. I don't need to lie. I don't need to cheat. I don't need to finagle. I don't need to do all the other things. If the deal is mine, it's mine. The Jews went down to slavery only because they didn't understand if HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to give you the money, it's coming to Goshen. It's coming to your door. You don't have to go to Manhattan. You don't have to go here. You don't have to go there. You don't have to do anything that compromises your integrity. Can you go to Manhattan? Sure, if it doesn't compromise your integrity. But if it compromises you, and it compromises your Judaism, and it compromises your relationship with Hashem, then it's not worth it. Because whatever's meant to be yours is coming to you anyways. It's coming to you anyways. Listen to what the Kli Yakar says. The Kli Yakar says, Vayakam Melech Hadash. A new king arose in Egypt that didn't remember Yosef. Rashi brings the Gemara Masechet Sotah, Machloket, Rav Shmuel. One says that it was a new king, mamash a new king completely. And one says it wasn't a new king. It was the same one, but he chose to forget about Yosef. Says the Kli Yakar, what does it mean? And he arose. Kayama, the word Kayama, not shayach in the pasuk, has nothing to do over here, arose. Vayimloch, it should be, and he ruled. And he ruled the new king. What is this word of Kayama? And he came up and he rose. So anytime we see the word Kayama, that he rose, it means he arose to do something bad. He came with the bad intention to go against Hashem. Says the Kli Yakar, every intention that he had to do bad only came back upon him. And he says, what does it mean he didn't know Yosef? That he forgot the thing that happened with Yosef. What happened with Yosef? Yosef tells his brothers, I had a dream. And in my dream, you're going to bow down to me. The brother said, and they tried everything in their power to get rid of Yosef and to cancel out this dream. Right? We're going to sell him, we're going to kill him, and every single action they did only brought the thing closer and actually made it true. They said we're going to sell him and therefore we're going to have to bow down to him. And when they sold him, they ultimately got the place that they bow down to him. Says, so to Paro. He says, I'm going to put them in slavery, so they're not going to have any more children. Pen yirbe, he says, lest they multiply. Says the Kli Yakar, Paro says, pen yirbe. Kosh Baruch Hu says, ken yirbe. You say, lest, they shouldn't? I say, they will. And that's what happened 6 days at a time. You want to bring it further away. You want to do something against Hashem's will? Impossible. Impossible. There's a famous story in Masechet Shabbat. It talks about a guy, his name was Yosef. Yosef who loved Shabbat. This person would go and honor the Shabbat. He had a Goy neighbor, non-Jewish neighbor, who saw through one of his stargazers, told him, this Yosef who loves Shabbat, he's going to inherit all your money. The guy says, what? He's going to inherit all my money? He thought he was going to steal from him. So what did he do? He went and sold all of his businesses. He bought a nice pearl, put the pearl in his hat, and kept the hat with him everywhere he goes. Now nobody can steal it from me. Yeah? Now it's with me 24/7. Goes on a ship, gets on the ship with the hat, comes in a strong wind, whoop, knocks the hat off of his head with the pearl, goes into the water, and the pearl gets swallowed by a fish. Thursday night, fisherman goes out, catches a fish. Comes to the maid, says, who's going to buy a fish this late into Thursday night? Say, go to this guy Yosef, he loves to honor Shabbat, he's going to buy a fish of Shabbat. Buys the fish, and the pearl comes to him. Says the Ben Yehoyada, which is the Ben Ishchai. The Ben Ishchai says, look at the story, the Gemara meant to tell you, look what happens, a person honors Shabbat, look how great his reward is going to be. Right? He says, but it's actually an underlying theme here. That the Goy, the non-Jew, tried to do everything he can to run away from giving his money to the Jew. And every action he did against only brought it closer to the Jew. And not only brought it closer to him, it brought it to him easier. Now you don't have to go get all these fields. I give it to you one tiny pearl. Ready to collect, go sell it and get whatever you need. Everything's good, easy, benachat. He says over there, benachat, b'shalva, easy. A person thinks, I'm going to do something and I'm going to change the will of God. It's impossible. Impossible. If Hashem wants to give you something, He's going to give it to you. Paul says, I'm going to stop them from coming after me. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. This will make a difference. It won't help. Every action Paul made only brought it closer. You want to see another proof? Paro, his dream interpreters come to him and tell him there's going to be a boy, we don't know if he's Jewish or he's Egyptian, who's going to rise up and he's going to take you out of the kingship. He's going to save out all the Jews. So what does Paro say? Tells all the people, look, we have a decree now. You have to take all the boys and throw them into the Nile. Who's born? Moshe Rabbeinu. Where was he thrown into? The Nile. The Nile. In a basket. His mom puts him in the Nile in a basket. Where does Moshe Rabbeinu end up? Who comes out to the Nile that morning? Paro's daughter. Paro's daughter comes out. She sees a baby in a basket. Out stretches her hand and takes Moshe and raises Moshe in his own house. You try to get rid of him, you only brought him into your house. You try to get rid of him, I'm going to kill him, I'm going to get rid of him, and he ends up getting raised in your own lap, on your lap. Your lap, you fed him. Yeah? Gucci. This is the same boy that you talking about. You try to kill him? You know. Here he is. And Chazal teach 30 minutes after Moshe Rabbeinu went into the water, the decree, they came to Paro and said, we see in the stars that the boy was thrown into the water. He says, if that's the case, then cancel the decree. Comes Miriam now, 30 minutes after throwing her son into the water. What could you say to herself? Yo, it's a basa. Wow, what a mistake. If I would have waited 30 minutes, I would have been able to save my son. But the reality is people don't understand. Sometimes in life you think, if I would have done this, I would have been able to get it. If I would have done this, I would have been able to get it. But the reality is none of it would have helped. Whatever needed to happen is going to happen. And this that it got better is only because you did the action. Now, if I would have turned that right turn. And now the funny thing is, it's a musal for me also. Just last week or something like that, I had a thought came to my head. If I only would have implemented this technology earlier, it would have been so much better for my business. I said to myself, Mori Chamo. If I only. It's not how life works. Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to give you what's yours. It's going to come to you. I'm going to tell you another proof of this. The ultimate Avodah, he comes over here as a sefer. Over here, I actually brought it with me. I'm not going to read it inside. It's called Darchei HaBitachon. Over here in the sefer, in the beginning of the book, he says something beautiful. He says the pasuk in Tehillim says, Shlach al Hashem yavcha, v'hu yichalkelecha. Which basically means throw on Hashem your burden, and Hashem will sustain you. You find yourself in a hard time, throw it on Hashem, Hashem will take care of everything. Right? Says the Gemara Masechet Rosh Hashanah that the sages, the rabbis were puzzled by this. Throw on Hashem your burden, and Hashem will take care of you. What's so confusing? Everyone understood that? Throw on Hashem your burden, and Hashem will sustain you. It's good? Sounds like it's very straightforward. What were they so confused about? Until came Rabbi Baruch Hana, and he was walking along the way, and he had with him a heavy bag. An Arabic guy walked by, told him, hey, take your heavy bag, put it on my camel, let's go, I'll help you get to where you need to go. And they understood. What did they understand? What were they so puzzled by until this moment they didn't understand? Says the author, the rabbis were puzzled by the question of bitachon. Does a person have to rely on himself? Or does he have to rely completely on Hashem? And at first the rabbis thought a person has to rely on himself also and have him in faith that whatever Hashem's going to do, I'm going to do my part and Hashem's going to do the rest. And they were bothered with the word burden because burden implies the whole thing. It should have said whatever you need. Throw your tzachecha, the thing that you need on Hashem. You have 20%, you need 80, throw the 80. The burden means the whole thing. So they weren't so sure. Until they see Rabbi Baruch Hana walking in the street, he has a package, and the Arabic guy tells him, come put on the camel. Normally a person has to go out of his way to ask the guy for help, no? Excuse me, sir, you might help me? I'll give you a certain type of dollar. Then they see Rabbi Baruch Hana who needs help, didn't ask for help, didn't offer to pay for it, gets it for free, and it comes to him. Says the author from here you have a clear proof that if Hashem wants to bring you something, He'll bring it to you. You don't have to say, oh, maybe I'll call him, maybe I'll ask him, maybe I'll this, maybe I'll that. So when I spoke about this in my shiur on Wednesday night, one of the guys says over me, oh, I have a broken a cabinet in my house. I'm not supposed to call up, a guy to come and fix it? And so he tells me, right? Come to challenge me. I told him like this. I said, oh, it's not possible that one of your friends as a contractor is going to pass by, he's going to see it's broken. I said, why is this broken over here? Tomorrow I'm going to tell you my contractor is going to take care of it. He says, actually, well, like, it happens to me a lot. Happens to me a lot. That's what he tells me. So it's a possibility that someone will come and help you. So why are you going to ask for help? Okay, it's not for sure. If I need help and I call a friend, I call Ali, I say, are you coming? You tell me I'm coming. I'm not going to call Nachman. I'm not going to call Roy. I have someone coming already. What's the problem? That you don't believe that Hashem is going to send the help. Because if you understood that Hashem is sending the help, and the deal's already coming to you, then you wouldn't run after anything. I'll tell you guys a perfect story that happened to me. And this story, mamash, beautifully illustrates to the point. Anyone who was here long enough knows the story already. Last year, my mom orders a package from Eretz Yisrael. She pays like $500 for shipping. Yeah? We get there waiting. My mom needs this package. She needs what's inside the package. And she's checking the tracking every day. She sees the tracking that the package got to Brooklyn, New York. Oh, Yeshua. And then she's waiting for it to come. The next day she checks it. Now it's in Queens. Whoa, what's this roundabout way? You going to Brooklyn to Queens? Okay, maybe, I don't know, maybe it was a fluke. We check it the next day, Patterson, New Jersey. My mom calls me, she tells me, Mom, I'm afraid it's going back to Israel. I told her, Ima, relax, the package is going to come. No, I need it. If they're going to send it back, I'm going to pay another $400. I can't do it. You have to go. Now, Kibud Avayim, I have to respect my mother. I have to go. I said, okay, what do you want me to do? Go and call them. Who do I have to call now? Don't tell me I have DHL. Don't tell me now I have UPS. No, USPS, okay? USPS, you know what USPS is? It's the worst of the worst, okay? I call them now, I'm on hold for 3 hours. Finally, after for 3 hours, I finally get someone on the line. Hello, sir, how you doing? Talking Shaniqua here, how can I help you? Okay? How you doing, Shaniqua? How can I, this is my tracking number. Now she starts reading me my tracking. I have it in front of me, I can also read it. Sir, let me do my job. Okay. 10 minutes now, she's reading me everything along the tracking history. I tell them, okay, very nice. What's going on with the package? Oh, so I can't tell you that. You gotta go to the office. Okay, now, thank you for wasting my time. 4 hours now. Now I go to the USPS office over here. I go to the place. Now I'm waiting over there online till I get to the window. Finally get to the window. How you doing? My name's Shaniqua. It's the same Shaniqua from the phone. No, it's not me. It's a different Shaniqua. Hey, okay. I finally get to her. I tell her, no. Starts reading me the tracking information. I tell her, ma'am, I have the tracking information. Sir, let me do my job. Okay, no problem. Another 10 minutes now she's reading me everything in the tracking history. So I tell her, okay, so what's going on with the package? I'm sorry, I need to get your supervisor. Okay, no problem, I get your supervisor. Everything's good. Okay, I sit down and I wait. 30 minutes pass. A supervisor comes out from the back. Yeah, you know, a supervisor comes with a piece of paper. Oh, yes, you are in there. Sorry, sir, can I help you? We don't know what's going on with your package. You have to call this number. Okay, I'm climbing up the ranks, UPS. I think I almost got to the USPS CEO over there. Call this place, call every place I'm calling. Call the warehouse, call the trucker. Gave me the number for the truck driver. You understand what I'm telling you? Hello, yeah, Sanchez, oh, relax, my friend. I don't speak Spanish. No habla español. Okay, I don't know what to talk to. One guy finally answers the phone, tells me, you know what, I'm going to put in a claim for you. Wow, claim. Now we have someone, now someone. Nobody over there knows what they're talking about, okay? Nobody over there knows what they're talking about. Finally, I get to the CEO over there. I don't know, the manager of the manager's manager. Jessica, okay. We have some light in the tunnel, no? So I'm sorry, sir, we cannot help you. You have to call the sender. Tell the sender to make a claim on her end. Now I'm already 2 weeks on this thing now. Okay? I'm already a week and a half on the thing. My mom calls me the next morning. A package here. The package came. Really? Who told you a week ago the package was going to come, Ima? You sent me on this wild goose chase. For nothing, and the package came anyways. That's mamash how a person looks in the world. When he's running after her, I need to go get this girl. I got to call this guy. I got to lie to him. I got to cheat. I got to this. Oh no, Habibi, the package is coming when the package is coming. You don't need to do all this craziness. Relax. It's not going to do anything. All you're doing is climbing up the air of USPS. You're not getting anywhere. Mama's not getting anywhere. You could have spoken to the CEO. He also doesn't know. You're not getting anywhere. Whatever's meant to be yours is coming to your door. It's coming straight to you. The package is going to come when it's meant to come. But you have to believe that. You have to understand it. You have to live it. You have to make it a part of who you are. And whatever's mine is mine. No one in the world can take it away from me. No one in the world can take it. If this thing is meant to be mine, it's meant to be mine. Guess what? You live your life in a different frequency. You don't have to be a dishonest person now. You don't have to chas v'shalom do something now. You know, something called gezel dat. You know what gezel dat is? It's called the theft of the mind. If me and you close a deal now, and it's based on a falsehood, I sell you this, this pencil over here, and I tell you this pencil is going to last forever. And you buy the pencil, you go home, you use it, You sharpen it, it's getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter until you come to me one day with a little tiny thing, little spitzy over here. You tell me, sir, it's only been 6 months. You told me this thing's gonna last forever. I said, forever is relative. Guess what? If you take me to Bedin, take me to court, Jewish court, I have to give you back all the money for the pencil. And only that, any other damages that are involved. Why? Because I sold it to you on false pretenses. It's called Gezel Dat. Now what's the funny thing is, a person thinks, if I'm going to lie, I'm going to increase my probability. But the reality is all you're doing is making it worse for yourself. Here's a clear car. Paro came up with evil intentions. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And everything he did only came back on him. All the wickedness you try to create, all the things you try to put out, all the lies are only going to come back to you. You're going to cause him harm? Don't worry, it's coming back to you big time. Like I told the boys, and I'm going to tell you guys also. One deal you... Desperate time calls for desperate measures, One of those, okay? You took that commission check, you deposited it into your bank account, guess what? All the money in your bank account now is all the same curse. This money is cursed, and all the money in your bank account is cursed now. You ruined the whole entire bunch. And you think, what? I brought another deal to myself. Zachiti, Chamo, the package was coming anyways. The package was coming anyways. All you did was ruin it for yourself. And brought harm upon yourself. The package is coming anyways. Running around, checking out, why? For what? Hashem decreed it upon you, it's coming. No matter what you're going to do, you can't get around from it. You can't run away from it. Hashem wants to give you something, He's going to give it to you. You have to understand that you have to live, you have to make it a part of who you are. There's a story of a guy. He came one time to the Rebbe. He says, Rabbi, I'm struggling financially. He says, what do you do for a living? He says, I sell wine. He says, okay, what's the story? He says, Rabbi, I have a one bucket with 4 spigots. 4, how do you spigots in English? Spigots. 4, how do you mean? No, it's a barrel, what is called a spigot. I don't know how you translate a spigot, it's already in English. Yeah? It's the thing that lets out the wine. It's like a faucet, kaze. Okay? Spigot. So Rabbi, I have a barrel, and every time I have a new batch of wine I throw, I'm down to the last batch. And I'm already tapped out of the 4 spigots. They're already open, I'm pouring, but I don't have enough money. I'm thinking about taking a second job. The Rabbi tells him, I have a great idea. He says, what? He says, add a 5th spigot. Add another faucet. He says, Rabbi, what's it going to help? The amount of wine in the barrel is the amount of wine in the barrel. What's it going to help if I'm going to add another thing over here? The Rabbi looks at him and tells him exactly. You don't understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu already decreed upon you how much money you have inside your barrel. You want to add another spigot, I'll take another job, another this, another that. I'm going to come over here, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do all these. If there's a problem with the amount of water in the spigot, in the barrel, there's a problem with the amount of wine, don't look to add more holes. Look up to Shamayim and say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I need more water. One guy Wednesday night told me, Rabbi, it's very hard to reach these levels. It's very hard to reach these levels. I don't think anyone in the world can reach this level. I told him you have to believe that you can believe. You have to believe that you can believe. Because if you don't believe that you can believe, then you're limiting yourself. If you say it's impossible, guess what? It's impossible. But if you say it's possible, guess what? It's possible. Guess what? It's possible. This week's Parashat. Paro passes away after they're already slaves. And now the Pasuk in the Torah says Paro passes away. And now the work got heavy on the Jews. And they cried out to Hashem. So Mephoshim come up and say, why did they wait so long to cry out? You're already 80, 90 years of slavery, suffering. Only now you call out? They thought themselves in their mind, you know who the reason we're suffering is Paro. When he's going to die, then we're going to be good. And when he died, and they realized that it didn't get any better, they realized that the suffering didn't come from him. And then they cried out to Hashem immediately. As soon as they cried out to Hashem, immediately, Shemot immediately, he sends Moshe Rabbeinu to go redeem them. Appears to Moshe Rabbeinu in the burning bush. Immediately. Meaning to say, I told them, one, you have to believe that you can believe, and you have to also pray. And if you're going to pray, you're going to win. There was one time a religious boy during Hanukkah, it's a real story, that in the Kollel, in the place that we learn, they needed to strengthen the situation over there, because in Hanukkah a lot of people don't come. So they made a lottery. They said whoever is going to come every day, they're going to enter into a lottery, $100. Every day you come, you get a ticket. You come early on time, 9:30, you get a ticket into the lottery. The first day, 10 boys come. Everyone gets a ticket in the lottery. They call out a winner, Yossi. I like a vote. That's good job. Get $100. Nice. The next day, pick the winner. Who was it? Yossi. Oh, good luck. Nice Yossi. Okay. What's going on with this Yossi guy? Okay. Third day, same 10 guys. Who wins? Yossi. Okay, Habibi. Okay, up until here now. Okay, 3 times you're out. 3 strikes you're out, Habibi. What's going on over here? We the one picking the names from the hat? What are you doing over here? We got a cheat code? You take out all the names, start looking, everyone is there. No cheating happened. So they asked him, how did you win? He told him, every single one of you came. Every one of you came at 9:30. Which one of you prayed? Everyone sat down quietly. He says, guess what? Every morning before I walked in here, I prayed Hashem, I'm going to win. And I won. Sometimes in life you could do your part. Hashem, I'm going to do the action. But the action is not enough. You also need to pray. You also need to pray. You also need to pray to Hashem. How much you need to pray? We spoke about Batya, Paro's daughter. The Gemara says she took out her hand to go out to reach Moshe Rabbeinu. The Gemara says, what do you mean she took out her hand? How is she going to reach the water from her hand? The Gemara says her hand extended a bunch of couple of amot, cubit, a couple of feet. Her hand stretched out to go and grab the basket. What does it mean? משנה פרקי אבות says, לא עליך המלאכה לגמור, ואין אתה בן חורין, לבטל ממנה. It's not for you to finish a job. However, you're not exempt from trying. There was a story on Chanukah. They called the big rabbi to come up and light the Chanukah. So rabbi, you have to come light the Chanukah. And he got up in front of all these people, big rabbi. And all of a sudden, they see the rabbi getting nervous. He doesn't want to light. And he calls out, he says, go give me this guy Daniel. Meet the Daniel Avshav. Go get me Daniel. You know, the tall guy Daniel, a really tall guy in the city. Go get me Daniel. Okay. Go get Daniel. They get this guy. He's like 6'7", the biggest guy in the town. They bring us, the rabbi's asking you to come. So he comes. He gets to the rabbi, and the rabbi asks him, Daniel, let me ask you a question. You're very tall, right? He says, yeah. Your wife is very short, right? He says, yeah. You know? So he's 5 foot, 6'7". He says, when you want to tell her a secret, when you want to tell something that you want her to hear, what do you do? What do you mean? I have to bow down, I have to the crouch down to get to her level. The rabbi gets excited, he starts getting giddy. Okay. And tell me the best part. And what does she do? What does she do? Rabbi, she gets on her tippy toes to hear what I have to say. The rabbi says, yes, that's it. And he lights the candles. What's going on over here? Everyone in the city over there, thousands of people sitting on there, like, the rabbi is Majnun. They come and ask the rabbi, what's going on over here? He says, I came to light the candles. And then I said to myself, Hashem is so big, so massive, so amazing, so gigantic. What's the chances he wants anything to do with me? And then I was reminded of Daniel, this really tall guy. And I told him, when you want to tell something to your wife, when you want to give her some affection, what do? I crouched down to her. I said, it's possible that Hashem is going to come down to me. But then I said, but what does she do? What does she do? She gets on her tippy toes. She does just a little tiny bit, and Hashem does the rest. But put her hand out, and Hashem stretched her hand out to go all the way, a couple of feet, to go pick up Moshe Rabbeinu. Hashem says, all I need you to do is try. Make one step. Pick your tippy toes. Just do something small. And I'll make the rest. I'll come down to you. But make the first step. Make an effort. Show me you want it. Show me you want to get to the place where you have to be honest in life. Show me you want to get to this. You know what it means? The first question they ask you when you get to Shamayim is, Asata v'atata b'emunah? Were you honest in your business dealing? That means that if you didn't pass this question, game over. There's no next level. There's no next step here. It's okay. You didn't pass this first one? Yalla, go back down. What do you mean? Go back down. But I learned Torah. Go back down. Go back down. Why is this the first question they ask? Because ultimately, one thing you share with every single person in the world, some other character traits, not so much. One thing you share with every single person in the world is that we all have tests of emunah, and we all have these tests when it comes to being honest and this and that, whatever it may be. Every single one has this test. Don't say, I'm worse, I have it harder, it's weak. Everyone in their world, in their life, will face a moment where they're challenged with putting $1 in their pocket and having to lie, or having to say the truth. Against everyone. And Hashem says, that's when I know who you are. לגבי הלכות, טומאה וטהרה, impurity and impurity, one of the most complicated, purity and impurity. We talk about land animals, sea animals. I want to ask everybody here a question. Something called a crocodile, and something called the seal. כלב ים. תנין וכלב ים. Okay? A crocodile and a seal. They both live on the land and in the water, right? You see, you go out to the thing, you see crocodile Dundee over there in the water with the crocodile. Yeah? And a seal, you see him swimming in the water. What would you classify them as? Land animals or sea animals? Now I'd go around the room, you would say sea, you would say land. Everyone have their own answer, right? Present to Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva gave a beautiful answer, and from here I have a big musar for every single one of us. He says, when a crocodile is afraid, where does it go? To the water. When a seal is afraid, where does it go? To the land. He says, you want to know what a crocodile is? It's a sea animal. Why? Because when it's afraid, that's where it goes. You want to know what a seal is? It's a land animal. Because when it's afraid, that's where it goes. Where do you go when you're afraid? Where do you go when you're afraid? You have a deal on the table now, you're afraid it's not going to come through. Where do you go? I'm going to go into my tactics now. So that's what you are. You're a tactiker. Okay, combinator. Okay, no problem. That's what you are. You get up to Shamayim and Satya V'Tatya Me'una. Yeah, no, I was good. Oh, really? Let's see. They put up a video over here. Deal on the table. Sir, every lie. No, sir, you can buy the pencil glass forever. Every lie you have, right there, boom, in front of you recording. No, it's Kosh Baruch. It's not a lie. It's a white lie. It's not a big infraction. Hashem says, now I know who you are. But when you're afraid, and you run to Hashem, Hashem, I have faith in you now. I'm not doing anything. I'm not going out of the way. I'm not compromising myself. Hashem says, now I know who you are. When you're afraid, where do you run? Where do you run? That's how you show Hashem who you are. You want to show Hashem who you really are. You want to show Hashem who you really are. In those moments, or those tests, in those situations in your life, show Hashem, right now I'm afraid. Right now I'm worried. Right now I'm scared. And instead of running to my normal ways, my own tactics, my mind, my wit, my cunning, I'm running to you, Hashem. And our sages teach, שנאמר, הבוטח בהשם יסוגב, which basically means a person who puts his faith in Hashem is fortified. You know what it means, fortified? He's protected. You put your faith in Hashem, you're protected from every corner. No one in the world can reach you. No harm can befall you. The Bet Levi says, even if, God forbid, there was nigzar alecha min hashamayim, that God forbid there was an evil decree, you believe in Hashem, it's rescinded. You weren't supposed to close the deal. You believed in Hashem, you were going to, it's going to happen. You don't know the immense power you hold in your hands. Every limitation you carry is here in your mind. Baba Sali, one time I had a guy come to him in a wheelchair. In a wheelchair. Don't tell me Baba Sali lived 5,000 years ago. Baba Sali lived in your grandfather's generation. Probably your father's generation. Probably so the Baba Sali. Guy came to him in a wheelchair, unable to walk. Baba Sali tells him, get up. Get up, get up. Okay. Get up, get up. Get up. And the guy gets up and starts walking. What happened? Baba Sali puts a bottle of arak in a brown paper bag and he poured for years. One time I came to him. He handed him a bottle of arak. He didn't have gas. He told him, he put a bottle of arak in the car. He told him, drive. He didn't take the arak, put it in the car and drive. The guy drove for 2 weeks on arak. I'm not joking around with you. Don't try this at home. Huh? Don't call me afterwards. I'm not Baba Sali. The guy drove 2 weeks on arak. Afterwards, he comes back to the Baba Sali. The Baba tells him, what happened? No. He says, Rabbi, 2 weeks I was driving on the arak and then I filled up the gas. He tells him, what a mistake. You would have drove for the rest of your life on that one bottle of arak. Never had to fill up gas ever again. Imagine. So the one time came to the grandson and the Baba Sali said, the Baba Sali did Kabbalah Ma'asid, he did mystical things. He said, Chas v'shalom, God forbid. He says, how does he marry those two things? Emunah pshuta. Simple faith. Can Hashem make the car drive on arak? Yes. Can Hashem make the person walk in a wheelchair? Yes. Tells the guy, get up, but I can't walk. Get up. You know who's putting you in this chair? You. You believe you can't walk and therefore you cannot walk. Get up and you'll see you walk. It's a very high level, yeah. But the limitations we have in our life are the limitations we place on ourselves. Hashem is not limited at all. Every limitation you have in life is only because you placed it there. But if you believed wholeheartedly that this package is mine, it's coming, guess what? It's coming. Tamili, it's coming. You have to believe wholeheartedly. You're not going to compromise yourself. You're not going to limit yourself. You know that Hashem, Akol Yachol, can do everything. Then you live your life, you get to come up to 120, get up to the next world and say, Hashem, yes, I did. And guess what? You didn't lose anything, you only gained. Well, the other way, you surely lost. So we all be zocheh to have real emunah in Hashem, to really believe in Hashem, to take it extreme all the way to understand that when the package is meant to come, it's going to come to you. And in that manner, we'll be zocheh to bring Mashiach.